No, it wasn't.
Also very interesting to note are special areas set aside and designated as dinosaur parks.
Because we found a bunch of shit there!
Hunters are required to first obtain a dinosaur hunting license. Whatever destination these establishment-funded archaeologists and paleontologists set, it seemed they found incredible numbers of fossils in tiny areas. In one of the largest dinosaur excavation sites, called the Ruth Mason Quarry, over 2,000 fossils were allegedly discovered.
Stop saying allegedly, you son of a bitch.
Assembled from these bones are currently on display in over 60 museums worldwide.
Yeah, because it's a fantastic site.
Head of paleontology at La Plata Museum, is amazingly responsible for 6,000 fossil species supposedly discovered throughout his career, all in Argentina.
Really? Really? Hey, guess what, Eric? I ran a lab that we had 3.5 million specimens from the Ice Age that goes back 90,000 years. So the La Brea Tar Pits, the largest Ice Age mammal collection on the fucking planet. And this stuff isn't mineralized. It's actually subsumed with asphalt, keeping the all of the calcium and everything intact. These are actual bones. When we find a saber-toothed cat tooth, it's the physical tooth of the animal.
Ooh.
Which is kind of freaky to think about. But saying that, it's like, yeah, we find a lot of shit in places. The River of Death in Alberta, when they're digging the pipeline. I don't know, Mammoth Hot Springs. There are things called death traps and predator traps and sinkholes and natural trap caves and, I don't know, entire sand dunes falling on things while they're fighting, the dueling dinosaurs. It's a Protoceratops versus a Velociraptor that was found in Mongolia because a fucking sand dune fell on them while they were tussling around because the V-Raptor wanted to eat the thing. That's a rad specimen, by the way.
You know what's interesting about this guy is that he knows so much. Is that his knowledge of the history of paleontology and of researching dinosaur bones. He knows so much.
I call bullshit on that. What I'm thinking is that he's reading from a script that he cobbled together on fucking Wikipedia. I challenge him to go toe-to-toe with somebody in the business, I don't know, like me, and go, okay, start throwing dates, start throwing specimens. I will fucking own you.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's obviously, he knows all these people. He knows about the bone wars. He knows who's in charge of all these different...
Simple Google search of largest dinosaur thing found. Okay, I'm going to write these 3 things down on this manila fucking legal
I understand
pad.
that. I'm not saying that it's impressive and that it's conclusive evidence. I'm saying it's impressive that this guy has done this much research, but yet still has this ridiculous idea, and he's using
I see what
this.
You're saying. Yeah.
He's using all this data that's actually factual about how many different people found how many different things, and he's decided that this is proof.
And all he does is put allegedly in front of it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, sorry, over 6,000 specimens were found there.
Let's
fucking
keep
deal
going.
with it.
Hunter Earl Douglas sent 350 tons of excavated dinosaur bones to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History throughout his career, all coming from the Dinosaur National Monument in Utah.
Why do you think it's called the Dinosaur National Monument now?
Dr. Louis Chiappe and Dr. Lowell
It's
Dinglis
Chiappe,
supposedly
actually.
discovered thousands of dinosaur eggs at a site of only a few hundred square yards.
It was called the Tiniest
Many
Giants
experts
exhibition.
have mentioned how such finds of huge quantities of fossils in one area by just a few highly invested individuals goes against the laws of natural probability.
What the
and
fuck?
lends credence to the likelihood of forgeries or concentrated planting efforts.
Wrong. If you find a fossil...
Concentrated planting efforts.
Yeah,
what did they plant? What were the things that they planted?
Oh,
there's dinosaur bones that they planted? What were the dinosaur bones made out of?
Like resins. So that is actually an argument with these jackasses. It's like, okay, so big paleo, the big paleontologist, people like me.
Big paleo.
Big paleo.
Like big pharma.
Yeah, like big pharma and big they and, all
We're
that.
We're big podcast, Jamie.
There you go.
We're big podcast. We're an industry.
So they say, they, not in the black man, black helicopter they, but they as in the detractors, state that paleontologists, like me, will create a fossil, whether it's like a cast or we'll just make one up. And on these expeditions, we go out and we actually bury it and uncover it and make the news and all that. Well, if that was true, Eric, Why is it that when we find something, say in, I don't know, 2008, it's not usually written about until, say, 2012? And that's just a single note in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology, which I guarantee you've never read. Or it's done as a poster at the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology, which I will absolutely guarantee you've never been to. And then the fossil's still in prep at that point. We haven't done all the research on it. It's still undiscovered fossil found. If we are going out and investing all of this money in order to make these fakes and bury them and pay all of these people to shut them up in huge excavations like that, we would kind of want to recoup that money as fast as possible and immediately dump it to the news and get paid for spokesmanships and all of that. But we don't. We suffer. Natural history museums are some of the lowest donated to institutions on the planet. Art museums are generally number one. There are people that get laid off all the time from museums. Museums close. If we were making all this money and making all this fame, why are there paleontologists out of a job? Why do I know a dozen monitors that don't have work right now? Why are there museums that have problem actually getting a budget to get an excavation going, that they have to use private donors, that they have to use their board of directors, that they have to go from a county museum to a foundation nonprofit? This is such a line of fucking bullshit that, I mean, that pisses me off, because his simple statements are looping in thousands and tens of thousands of employees and museums and all of that worldwide. This would be one of the largest conspiracies ever, other than, I don't know, moon hoaxes and NASA. Flat Earth and shit like that.
That's the other one he does.
Yeah,
that's
that is
the
the
biggest
other one.
Keep going.